The Great Barrier Reef is one of the natural wonders of the world. It is composed of almost 3,000 individual reefs and 900 islands, and stretches for over 2,600 kilometers. It has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site for over 30 years, and is so big it can be seen from space. The reef is located in the Coral Sea, off the coast of Queensland in northeast Australia. Because of its unique coral and warm, clear waters, it's a hugely popular tourist destination. In 2011, over 1.5 million people visited the reef. Each year, the industry generates over $2 billion Australian dollars. But unfortunately, tourists often damage the natural beauty they come to admire. The coral reef is a breathtaking but very fragile environment, and tourists can often be careless when they visit. They break the coral by walking along it, and some visitors even snap off pieces to take home as souvenirs. The boats which carry the tourists to the reef can also cause damage. Their anchors smash coral, and the fuel they leave behind pollutes the water around the reef. The fact is that the reef isn't used to human contact. It existed in near isolation for thousands of years. So when over 1 million people suddenly start visiting, they are bound to cause some damage. But not all the damage to the reef comes from tourists. In fact, the greatest threat is something far more global: climate change. Climate change is having a disastrous impact on the reef, which has lost more than half of its coral since 1985. Things, it seems, are only going to get worse. According to a recent survey, it is expected that the reef will have lost another half of its coral by 2022. Climate change is affecting the reef in different ways. Extreme weather events such as cyclones and heavy storms have become much more common in recent years. The fragile coral cannot withstand this violent weather, and scientists say almost 50% of coral loss is due to this. They also predict that these severe weather events are likely to become even more frequent in the future. Another major problem for the reef is coral bleaching. Thanks to global warming, average sea temperatures around the world are rising. The ocean around the Great Barrier Reef is now 0.4 degrees Celsius warmer than it was 100 years ago. The sea is also becoming more acidic as it absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. These changes cause the coral to lose the algae living inside them, and cause them to turn white. This process is known as coral bleaching. Normally, bleached coral can grow again, but the long-term bleaching caused by global warming is killing entire coral colonies around the reef. So what is going to be done to protect one of the world's most iconic natural wonders from mass tourism and the effects of climate change? The Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority is the organization in charge of protecting the reef. They are trying many different things which intend to reverse the reef's destruction. But while the rate of climate change may be slowed, it won't be stopped completely. Severe weather, warmer waters, and ocean acidification are here to stay, and tourists will continue to visit the reef, so it needs to be more resilient in order to survive. The authority is implementing a series of initiatives. First, they are going to identify the key habitats and species that are under threat. They will then create special refuges. Tourists and fishermen won't be allowed to enter these areas, so the reef can flourish without human interference. In the longer term, they plan to fund specialized research into the reef so that they can identify what needs to be done and how to do it. Both tourism and climate change are major threats to the future of the Great Barrier Reef. However, the reef's deterioration could be slowed and possibly even reversed if it is managed properly. We need to understand our effect on this huge but delicate ecosystem if we hope to protect it. If we don't, we may lose it forever.